All right. Thank you, everyone, for your patience. It's 10 minutes past 7, and we are going to start the meeting officially. Good evening to everyone. My name is Tuhididwe Maria, a software developer. We are a team of 5, and I'm among those who built the application, the Fromyfarm application, which we'll be talking about this today's meeting. We have here David Ojok and the CEO, Mr. Stephen Moss, and he will have a small talk with him. I'll be inviting him very soon, but today, as I said, we're here. Application for my which connects farmers, buyers, and suppliers all in one application, all in one platform. As the meeting continues, we'll get to see about it. So I'll be inviting the CEO, Mr. Stephen Moss, to take us through the next session.
Hello, everybody. I don't know whether you can see me, but
yes, we're able to.
Okay, all right. Just let me shut this down. All right. Well, welcome everybody to this meeting. It's a very important one, and I'm very glad to be able to spend time with you. And hopefully, after I've shared some things, you will have a better understanding about the app. But most importantly, particularly those who are hearing about the app or just heard about it recently or are curious about it, we'll be giving you enough time to actually ask questions. So my presentation, what I'll be doing is presenting from a slide deck so that you at least have an overall idea. So it may be for some who have been in these sessions before, I'll be revisiting, but hopefully for many others who are joining for the first time, you'll have an idea a lot more about the app. Let me just share my screen. Find the right screen. Share with you. I think it's the one. Can you see the screen? Oh, hang on. It's just probably. Let me just. Sorry. Let me. Sorry. I'll just turn off my computer. I think there's I can't share the screen and the video at the same time. I'll do that. Okay. Let me see. Are you able to see anything? No? No.
It's on my side, it's still loading. But yes,
right.
I can see it right now.
Okay. So, seems to be what's doing that. Okay. All right. Can everyone see that, or you see? I'm having some difficulty. I don't know. I want to share the screen, but maybe the networks are having issues. Let me try again, because I want to share some of the. Let's see. No, it seems to be having difficulty. All right. What we'll do is I'll just talk through the slide deck. I want to show you some images. But the most important thing first and foremost is that just as a disclaimer, and also to make you understand that the app itself and its vision is driven by a motivation to actually make a big impact on the farming community. And so from my point of view, was given this vision, there's a strong Christian motivation behind it. So I want people to understand it up front, so that you in case you're asking, well, what kind of organization is this? So there's strong Christian motivation, but the idea is to reach out to farmers across the world. It doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter, it doesn't matter what your situation is. The vision is to help all the small scale farmers globally to be able to participate in the global e-commerce. What has happened, as you all know, those of you obviously in the farming business, a vast majority of farmers, especially are really small scale farmers, and most of them have very little to do, if any, with the global e-commerce. And so this has been a huge area which has been neglected by the digital age, and many of the farmers don't even have smartphones, and so this gap has meant that they are vulnerable to being exploited by those who've got technology, those who've got the supply chain connections, and so the vision here is to try to bring them on board. And so that has been the definition of what the problem is. And the vision for the app really is to provide a fairer marketplace for farmers to sell ever increasing volumes of their produce, both profitably and yet at competitive prices, because they have to be competitive. And in order for them to survive, they need to be able to know what the market is actually doing and respond in a very productive way. The overall vision of the app is really, it's a single marketplace that brings the buyers, the farmers, and the suppliers, so they're all visible to one another. And later on, there'll be a demo which Maria and David will be showing, of how a buyer would actually participate in using this app. We have previously presented, how farmers will behave, but we want to focus on the buyers, because you're the very, very important part that make this whole solution work. You just can't have only farmers. You have to have buyers who are actively involved. So we hope that if you have questions, this will be a time for you'll be able to ask these questions. So the other thing I wanted to discuss was, which I'd hoped to share with you on the screen, but you would have seen that on either WhatsApp group, or you would have seen that in the Twitter accounts, is the current system that buyers are faced with, or farmers are faced with as well, and then what the Fromyfarm app model is actually is proposing to use. If you are at the moment, you can actually can see that the diagram, which I'm not able to share for whatever reason the network is not able to cope. But what we have in the current system, if you're a smallholder farmer and you don't have internet access, which is the vast majority, as I said, you have only one choice, mostly, is to go through a middleman. And the middleman sets the price and the quantity, and also manages the sales from the small holding farmers. And the middleman then has the opportunity to obviously work with aggregators or farm produce, or they can sell directly to the large commercial buyers, or the other one, of course, is to sell directly to the retail buyers in the towns and the cities. So basically, the middleman has complete control of the actual process. So the main go-between, and the commercial buyers and retail buyers really have to rely on them virtually exclusively, including the aggregators, but for the whole system to work. And that's how the system currently largely works. Now, the Fromyfarm app approach is to say that doesn't need to be the case in the digital age. So we're providing a solution, a digital age, which says a smallholder farmer, if you don't have an internet connection, we're going to provide you with farmer agents. That's basically any person, and you could be a freelance person who's knowledgeable about e-commerce, or you've done some e-commerce yourself, um, and you are able to act as an intermediary for the farmer who doesn't have internet access. So the vision here is that you will be able to go to the villages of the areas where you are, and you talk to the farmer there and say, look, I know you don't have smartphones, or you don't have internet access, and you don't want to be involved in e-commerce because that's not really your area. I will handle that for you. If we can come to an agreement and you pay me a service fee of some kind, then I will handle the actual promotion. So the farmer agent then becomes a marketing person and also will help with the management of the actual sales. But their task here, they don't buy anything from the farmer. They're acting basically as an enabler for farmers to participate in the e-commerce, but they have that knowledge. And what this will then enable is that aggregators who are looking for volumes of produce, whether it be maize, whether it be beans, whatever they want them, they may want 100 tons or 200 tons, whatever, every so often. They can work with the farmer agent, who will be the one will be the one selling the produce on behalf of these farmers who don't have internet access. The same thing, and also for commercial buyers, it's an opportunity for them if they want to buy, so they can use Fromyfarm app to directly purchase. But behind each of those produce that's advertised on Fromyfarm app will be a farmer agent. So when the buyer makes a bid for the produce, it's the farmer agent who will handle on behalf of those small scale farmers who are out there in the village. So, and the same thing with the retailer. So we are giving opportunity then for the farmer to be able to set their own price. So the farmer sets the price, and then the farmer agent then executes the marketing and the sales. There's also an opportunity through the Fromyfarm app for the actual for some small holding farmers who have got internet access, who are tech savvy. They could actually do that direct themselves. They could sell through Fromyfarm app, advertise on their own, and sell commercially. So they're not restricted to actually having to use the farmer agent or the aggregator. They could sell direct. So that option is made available. The same thing with farmers also, and the buyers are able to interact directly. So it gives a chance for the commercial buyer, to still have that access to smallholder farmers, without having to just be restricted, unless of course they want in large bulk, so they might prefer to have an aggregator. But those options are immediately opened. So by this model, by giving all this flexibility, it means that for the first time, the smallholder farmers are actively engaged through these many options, which will help them to improve their income. But also it means that commercial buyers can locate farmers. Now, as a commercial buyer, you may say, my area is in the eastern part of this particular country. Can be any country, or this particular central part of any country. And so you can decide, okay, I'm going to try to see if I can make a bid for say maize in this particular region. You can do that directly, and you will find yourself, in some instances, you may be buying direct from the smallholder farmers. In other instances, you might be going through a farmer agent, because the farmer agent will be handling will be having so many farmers to make them accessible to you as a commercial buyer. So this flexibility is what the app does for you. The other thing which I think is important is that in terms of the market, just to see our vision to help you, the buyers, if you're trying to say, well, where are these people going? What's the market? The app is being built for global usage, because the platform is actually in the cloud and using Amazon Web Services. So we have from the very beginning, it was designed that way because we wanted security and we wanted flexibility. And also the app does not use a website. So if you go if you think we've got a website from a farm .app website, but actually the app doesn't work like a web app. And the very specific reason why we designed it this way is to avoid scammers. So the app, it basically is just is in the smartphone, and it's not a web app even on the smartphone. Okay, it's an APK, or so it means that the phone talks directly to our servers in a secure line. And also within the app, you can't send email messages. Those are also prohibited, because we want to make sure that the farmers, many of whom are not tech savvy, are not going to be manipulated by people who might want to come in pretending to be buyers and then try to actually corrupt the system. So that's what's been designed for security, and also for flexibility of being cloud services. So it doesn't matter which country in you have access. So that's an important part. And the vision basically is, we started with Uganda, where the development began. We also use Uganda as a pilot, because with anything that you do for software, you need to have a test pilot, whether it's a small community or whatever. We decided to use the country Uganda as a test pilot. And as you can see, for those who've downloaded the app, which you can download from Google Play Store, you will see all the dots, which indicates the farmers who have registered. And now it's obviously it's spread to Kenya. We are very thankful that Kenyans have participated, and then from Kenya went to Tanzania. Then of course there's a big leap. We're very thankful to the Nigerians, and then people in the West Africa, and then it's moved down to the southern part of Africa, the South Africa. And just very recently, we just noticed a couple of registrations from India, which we're very, very grateful for. And if they're part of this, we're really thankful. So it's an indication that it really will grow. The aim is for it to grow now that we've established that the app can work, within the country, and it's usable. It means that buyers, you now have an opportunity to actually buy, not just from Uganda. You can, these farmers are in these different countries. So if you're a commercial buyer, doesn't matter where you are, you can just have a look, and you can go there and see what those farmers are advertising, and try it, and then you'll be able to then negotiate with them. Now, an important part of the design is that in terms of the final arrangement, once you made your bid and the farmers accepted your bid, you don't have a legal obligation to execute at that price that your bid, because the reality is that you need to talk to the farmer, you need to go and have a look and inspect, and there's transportation costs, logistics, and so forth. So we want to leave that between you and the farmer to finalize. So it means, from your point of view, you don't that you're not tied to that, because you may have to actually negotiate the discount to cover your costs. We're leaving that deliberately because, one, that's not our area. We're not chartered to do that, to manage those kinds of transactions. And also, most importantly, we want to allow you, the buyer, the flexibility to work out the best possible deal with the farmer, because it's not the first time that you'll be buying from them. You'll be buying, hopefully in the future as well. So you want to make sure that you have a good relationship in how you actually interact, and you are permitted that if both of you, if for whatever reason, after you've now started the negotiations, that you can't come to agreement, you can simply cancel the deal, because it's not a legally binding deal, and then the farmer will be able to re-advertise on the app. And but as part of the management of the relationship, and also to make sure that there's a real commitment to that, is what we've done is we've insisted that we're encouraging farmers to give feedback, and then you, the buyers, to give feedback on the relationship, so that people who are going to interact in the future will know, the kind of quality of the buyer or the quality of the farmer, and it will help to ensure the market actually, actually grows and prospers in terms of its future expansion. obviously in the long term, we are hoping that this will become a global network of farmers across the world, and that's very important for food resilience. So that's our vision, that in the future, the world will be able to say, okay, if there's a disaster in some part of the world, World Food Program or any other organization will say, look, let's use Fromyfarm app, because we know from that we can actually identify all the farmers with food produce close to where the disaster is, because it's always going to be on the map, and therefore they'll be able to contact those farmers and purchase from them. That will generate local business, for the farmers to actually be able to sell to meet a crisis need. So, which will be encouraging, and also it will save lives, because the food will get there faster instead of having to wait for it to come from America, Europe, which could take another 3 or 4 months. And in the meantime, people are starving or dying. You just buy from the nearest proximity. So it's good business for the local farmers, and also for the logistics companies who would be obviously hired. They're going to be close to where the disaster is. So, from a buyer's point of view, is that you'd be incredible opportunities. At the moment, you're only buying a particular place to meet a regular sort of contract you have. But this global network of farmers from Fromyfarm app may actually change some of the dynamics for you, give me additional revenue whenever there's a food crisis or food, the situation arises. That's just a very quick overview of the potential for the buying and the options that it's made available to you as a buyer. And we will really encourage you to participate, because what you'll only be doing is you're paying for the annual registration, which at the moment is like, it's not really much. It's like $3 or just about $3 US, which is not really much at all. And the reason why we have kept everything low is because we are working on the basis of volume. We want as many buyers to come in, so we're just having so we're keeping that low, and also we want as many farmers to participate. So that's why they're having free advertising to encourage them, and also they'll only be paying a fee to provide the contact details to you as a buyer. That way we're keeping the costs extremely low, because we want even the smallest scale farmer to be able to participate, and we're relying on the volumes. So if any of you now have any questions you want to ask, please do so, and I'll be happy to answer them. So we'll allow probably about 10 minutes or so, and then we'll go into the demo, because I think for some of you it may be good for you to see the demo. So does anyone have any particular question in relation to my presentation? My apologies that the actual I wasn't able to share the screen. I think the network is not able to handle this many people at the same time. Does anyone have any questions you want to ask?
Did you say hello?
Yes, hello.
Did you
yes.
say you're going to show a demo, like
Yes,
your
we
PowerPoint?
will. Yes, yes.
Okay. Because there's a lot of wording.
Yeah. So yeah, we will show a demo on how to actually use the app as a buyer. But that was just an overview of how the app works. I wanted to show it as in terms of like a presentation, but it seemed like the network can't handle my sharing the screen. It seems to be crashing.
We have someone raising their hands from Green Culture Zimbabwe.
Okay.
He can give a question. And also, if you can also send your question on the chat, and then you can also respond. Thank you.
Okay. Yep. Thank you. Yes.
Green Culture, you can give us your question that you'd want to ask. You can unmute your mic.
Okay, thank you. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, I can.
All right, thank you so much. My name is Taonga Msiwa from Green Culture, Zimbabwe. We are also working with smallholder farmers in crop production and including agronomy up to the marketing of the produce. So I'm happy that you have mentioned a lot of issues here pertaining to food security and food resilience. And I think your application is quite affordable when I was listening to the rates. But my question is on protection of the farmer.
No, not
How does the app protect the farmer from scammers and thieves? I know there are a lot of scammers on the internet, these online transactions. And there's a lot of people who come and say, we are going to buy your grain, or you are going to buy your produce, and they end up scamming farmers. Is there any way that you verify these buyers? Is there any way to protect the farmers? I think that's my question for now. Thank you.
That's always a big issue. So what we have is within the app the most important thing is the fact that there's no legal commitment. There's no legal obligation for the farmer to agree to buy something to actually sell their produce. So obviously, the opportunity that the app does is it brings the buyer and the supplier to actually talk. That's the first thing, and then it allows the farmer to be able to discuss with the buyer and to actually have an opportunity to talk to the buyer. Okay, so there's no contract. It only happens when they actually agree. So whether it's a physical agreement or whether the buyer will obviously go and inspect, and then they will have to agree in person. So it's not something that there's no transaction online, okay, in terms of the payment. Okay, so it's the only payment you're doing is actually is payment to us who are providing you the service to connect with the buyer. That's the only payment you'll be making. Okay, and that's a fixed amount. Okay, after that, you then are able to you have the contact with the farmer, and that's when you then will do the negotiation. So it gives you a chance, whether you as a farmer will say, look, I need to see you, you need to come to my farm, I need to see what it is, so that you can then prove for yourself whether a person is genuine or not. So that's what we are leaving that open, because we know if everything is just done digitally, remotely, you can have scammers. But this does not allow that, because there's no legal obligation for you to actually agree to the actual execution or to actually finalize the deal without you being satisfied yourself, and also the buyer being satisfied that you're both genuine. And of course, at the end of the transaction or meeting, you have an opportunity to also write a short, a review about your interaction with that buyer. If the buyer turns out to be dishonest, obviously no transaction will happen, because if he just said, oh, he just made a bid, but it was a scam, then you'll be able to notify, give a report on the review for that farmer and say this farmer is not genuine. So it means that when this buyer is not genuine, that means that when that buyer goes and bids with another farmer, it'll be shown that they have had a bad review. Okay, so it allows you, the farmer, to actually help protect other farmers. And over time, I think also the system has been built that over time, if a buyer or a farmer is not genuine, then the system will send them a warning that if they don't stop, then they will simply be blocked from using the system. We will build a semi-artificial intelligence to monitor the conduct and behavior of both the farmer and the buyer, because we want to make sure that it's fair and also we make sure people are honest. So, but thank you very much. That's a very important question. Thank you. Anyone else?
Thank you.
Yes, we have a question in our inbox in the chat. The first question was from Lucy. How will this initiative cater for international standards registration for our local products?
Yeah. Okay, that's another very good question. Thank you very much for that question. Now, what we have is that what the app does allows the interaction between the farmer and the aggregators. Now, the aggregators generally they have a standard because they make their business by complying to certain standards. Different companies have different standards and requirements. So the ability for the farmer to be able to actually communicate with the buyer means that they get educated about what minimum standards are. At the moment, most of these farmers in the village, they're not connected to the internet. They don't know what's happening, what the world really wants, what they stand. They have no idea. But what the app does, this is where the farmer agent is important, because the farmer agent, we will hope that as the people who take on these roles, which will be very, very good businesses, because if you are knowledgeable about and you can interact with the aggregators, then you'll be able to help the farmers, inform them what the commercial world really wants, because their job as farmer agents is to sell. You can't be successful if you're not convincing the farmers to produce the standard. So it'll be an opportunity to actually educate the farmers, and they will act as a means of helping the commercial buyers actually communicate with the farmers direct out in the village and tell them, look, this is the kind of specification we want for this type of product in order for you to buy that. Now, we know from our own experience very recently that there are some companies who are actually providing seeds based on the international standard they want. And therefore, it means that the farmers will be able to buy those seeds. And then once they have actually grown those seeds, they can use the farmer agent as a means of selling back to the commercial buyers the kind of standards that are required internationally. So this is that's why this app is incredibly important for farmers, particularly those who don't have internet connectivity, that now they'll have a means through this agent to actually help them to raise their standard, improve their standards. And many of the farmers have indicated that they would love to have educational programs to help them improve their farming techniques. And this is where the suppliers can, part of the app's functionalities is suppliers. They can provide educational services on farming techniques, better farming tools, and so forth. So again, the app allows those farmers to actually be able to see what's available close to where they are. So there's a map that allows the farmer to actually see, okay, I know this person is somebody who's an agricultural or agronomist who's close by. I'll contact them and they will help me. At the moment, they wouldn't know where they are. So the app helps that way. Okay. Thanks for that question. Any other question?
The other question here that's supposed is there any opportunity by this initiative for pre-financing the farmers in case of big contracts?
At the moment, we don't have that facility because we are just providing a service as a service that connects people. We're not at the moment provide that kind of service because we don't have a charter. In order to do that kind of service, you need some regulatory charter to actually do that. But what the app does, and this is what we're encouraging the supplier side, because the suppliers are anyone who provides inputs, who provides educational services, legal services, financial services. If they log in, if they register as a financial service provider, then the farmers will be able to locate them. So we in a sense, we are offering a shop front for financial service providers. And they're the ones who should actually be doing that task. It's not really for us. We are providing a means by which farmers can locate them. So that's still a very good question. It's an important one that farmers need to need to be aware of. And we hope that as the number of farmers increases, these suppliers will begin to provide those services. Say, okay, there's 5,000, 10,000 farmers, and I'm sure some of them would want some financial services, and they'll be able to just go and search within the app for financial service, provider, and it'll just a list of all of them will be there, and then they'll be able to contact them. So it'll make it so much easier for them. Thank you for that question. It's another very, very important question. Thank you.
So the last question he asked was, if not, will this initiative also be able to connect financiers and farm agents and the buyers? I believe you have answered that.
Yes, definitely. We just need them to register, as suppliers of financial services, and they will be immediately available for either the farmers, the suppliers, as well as the commercial buyers, or anyone really who needs funding to purchase goods, or inputs, or just to fund the actual growth expansion in their farming. Thank you. Any other question?
There's none in the inbox. Okay. We just go from here, or we can begin with.
Yeah. All right. So thank you very much, everyone, for listening and for asking the questions. And I think the important part now is for David and Maria to give the demo for how buyers actually place bids and the actual transaction process. So Maria, I'll hand over to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the presentation. I hope everyone has understood. If you have any other questions, you could ask them at the end after the demo. So I'll be sharing the screen to show you how the application works. Please, anyone inform me if you can see my screen?
Yes, we can.
All right, thank you. So this is the Fromyfarm application, and this that I am using is not the actual application out there. To download the application, you get it from Play Store. The one we have here right now that I'm using is what we use for testing. We use it for testing before we actually send it on Play Store. So currently it has not actual data. It's not actual data, but the one with the real data and real-time information is on Play Store. You just type in Fromyfarm, or David will be sending a link on the chat on how to get the actual application. So today's demo, I'll be acting as a buyer. As a buyer, what would I do when I have this application? So when you open the application, you see this map screen of Uganda. So in this demo, I'll just be focusing on Uganda, but on the actual application, we have Kenya, we have Tanzania, South Africa, we have Nigeria, we have different countries. But for just this example, I'll be in Uganda. So these icons represent the district that we have registered farmers. So for example, if I click this icon here, I have Masindi district with 7 farmers. I can click here and it will show me Soroti with 1 farmer. And let me give an example. Currently, I'm in Kampala. I'll search here Kampala. And then it will take me to Kampala, showing me 26 farmers. So you can click it there and to show you farmers that are there. And that's if you want to know the farmers around your district. So let me, right now, I'm a buyer who wants to buy coffee. Let me give an example of coffee. So I'll come to buy. We have options of register, login, and browse. Before I register, you would want to first browse and look at the application. So you click browse. It would show you these are produce. These are the produce that would be in the application. And then supplies, that's mainly for the suppliers, those who deal in hangers, tractors, pesticides, fertilizers, and so on. But today I'll be focusing on the produce. So you click that, view all. this here. You click the view all, it will take you to an all produce screen, which shows all the produce that is in the application, different farmers with different produce. But as I said, this information here is not actual data. Yes, it's not actual data. The actual data is on the application from my application. Sorry, from Play Store. Yes. So it would look like this, but actual information. This is dummy data. So you have an all produce screen with different produce. You can search. Let me give an example of tomatoes. You can search for, let's say, coffee. You know, you could search for any produce, whatever you're looking for, and you'd find it. And let's say if I'm interested, I want to buy Arabica coffee. It will show me farmers who have this coffee, Arabica. Yes. And then if you're interested, you click on the bid, but it would ask you to register. So let me go back to registration. That was this. I request to meet the people who are unmuted. The co-host, please help me unmute the people who are unmuted. Thank you very much. So we're going to register as a buyer. Registration is not so long, so it's asking for full name, and I'll put in Maria Aine. Then email, you'll put in your email. For now, I have maria@gmail.com. My address, let's say Kampala. If you are from Nigeria, you put Nigeria, you know, you'd search and then you choose where exactly. If you're from Kenya, from Australia, from wherever, you'd put the address, your actual address. Then the phone number, I'm going to put in my phone number, 30136. And if you're from another different country, you can just click here and choose the country that you're from, the country code, so that you can put in your phone number. So me, I'm Ugandan, put Ugandan, my phone number. Then currency, what currency would I want to use? So since I'm in Uganda, I would use UGX. And languages. Languages, this helps the farmer know what language the buyer speaks in case they accept your bid. So I'm going to put in English. And let's say Uganda. So this application has different language options. So it does not only work in English, but I'll show you that as we continue. Then password, I find it easier. This is advice to those who would want to register. Let's put this over here. I find it easier to write passwords in a way of maybe your first name and then a special sign and maybe specific numbers that you like. Yes, just so that you don't forget. But this is what I'm doing for now. As I said, the application that I'm using is has dummy data. It doesn't have actual data. So even though you put this in the app that you download from Play Store, it will not work. Okay, let me sign up. Right, so when you sign, it looks like I had already signed up with my phone number. Okay, so when you register, it will take you to a page for to verify your phone number, which you verify, but I think I had already registered. I had already finished registering, but this is how the registration process is. So let me just log in. Okay, so I've logged in as, I'm calling it, this is test buyer. So it's just testing for testing. So I'm going to look for, let me say I'm a buyer, I'm looking for coffee. So from this screen, after registering, it will bring you to this screen and you click the view all. When you tap the view all, it takes you to the all produce screen. So where you see these tons and these numbers, this screen calculates all the produce that the farmers have, and as the like farmers put their produce in kilograms. So it just gets all those farmers, and then with, let me say, with oranges, it will get those 5 farmers, get all their produce in kgs, and then turn them to tons. So in this screen, you will just be seeing in tons. So let me give an example I'm looking for. I want to buy Arabic. There you are. Okay, so these are the different farmers with coffee Arabica. And I am interested in, I would look for like their prices here. The prices, you see the district of the farmer, you see the country of the farmer, the kgs that they have. Some have available now, some have available in 2 weeks. So their produce will be ready in 2 weeks' time. So you can always like order earlier so that when they're ready, you just receive. So I'm going to use, for today, I'm going to use Ojok David. And he has 950. And he sells each kg at 6,000. These are available now. So I'll click the bid. And here on the bid, all right, I'm waiting for it to refresh, but it's just taking longer than usual. Must be my network, but let me just click that again. All right, so your name should appear there. Like, hello, let me say if it was Maria or John or Mark, but I have registered as test buyer. Okay, so here we see these real-time sales. This table here of real-time sales represents the actual real-time information that is happening with this specific produce called coffee Arabica around in this application. So we see there's an accepted date, there's the time this produce was sold. We don't know which farmer or which buyer, but it just tells us what's happening with this product in the application. Yes, and then we'll see this farmer uses Ugandan shillings, and he speaks actually Luganda and English. So when I get his phone number, I'll just go straight to English since he also knows English. Then his produce. Okay, so this part is making a bid. You see he has 950, so you'd make a bid according to the kilograms he has remaining. So my price would be, he sells it at 6,000 a kg. So I'll put there 6,000. And then quantity, how many do I want? I want 50. I want 50 kgs of this coffee. So I would submit my bid. Let me just change the pricing here. All right. Okay, so why previously it had refused to take that bid? I had when I was testing the application before, I had already tried out submitting a bid, and it was already there. I had made a bid earlier, so I've just changed the quantity of that, so it's there 60 kilograms at 6,000, and it calculates the amount. All right, so I've sent a bid to this farmer, and that is David. David, are you there? Just accept that bid.
Yes,
So what's happening?
Currently gets SMS, whether you're on the bid or offline, you automatically receive an SMS that will inform you to go on the place, to go on the application so that you can accept the bid. So as the farmer, when a bid is sent to you, you're supposed to go and make payments of 5,900. That includes tax, so that based on the prices that the buyer has said to you, you can accept what is preferred for the farmer. So I'm just going to now make the payments on my end.
All right. So what's happening now? As a buyer, you'd have made your bid, so you could close your phone, move out, or as so the farmer right now has gotten an SMS. So we're waiting for him to accept. When he accepts, we'll also receive a notification on the application telling us the farmer has accepted the bid that he made. So as I wait for David to complete that, because after him accepting, he has to do a payment on his side as a farmer. It's a small payment that he does before accepting the bid. So what else I can show you meanwhile as David's doing that? If you want to look at other farmer information, you can click this card. Now let me give an example with Dr. David here. You can click the card and to show you more information. You would click also this card and to show you the the item, the kgs, price, and description. So there's sometimes, let me give an example of let's say goats. We could have you could put goats and then you want to specify these are boer goats or these are different kinds of goats. Yeah, so in the description you'd put I have if I sell one goat at let me say 400, in your description you would have I have smaller goats at 200, something like that. Yeah. Or if you have tomatoes, some are big, some are small, you'd tell that in the description. It would show that in the description so that the buyers would also see that here down in the description. Yeah. So there's so much details there. Okay. So David, I'm still waiting on David. David?
Yes, I'm about to get done with the payments. Then I'll give you inform you.
All right. You just go back there to where I was. It was Arabic. There. Okay. I was inside the dashboard. So this tab down here normally shows the top 5 buyer offers. So as a buyer, when you'd come to make a bid, you would find like other buyers had already made bids with this person. All right. You'd find that other buyers have made bids with this farmer, so you would see how much they put or something like that. So
You can
this is like a computer.
payments have gone through.
They've gone through. All right. I'll still let me just finish up with explaining this. So you'd make a higher bid. You could have put here, like, let me say you buy a kg at 6,000, then you would put 100 kilograms. So yours would be on top. The one with the highest would be the one on top here. So that's what the farmer will receive. Yes. Okay. David, you said you had completed?
Yes, I had completed.
All right. So we'll be checking our notifications. You can either click this icon up here. You see where you see list of farmers up there. There's a bell icon for notifications. Or you could click here on these 3 bars here, which is the more section. So you choose other information, edit profile, invoices, reports, and notifications. So here you'd find all your notifications. But as I say, this is the testing app. It just has many notifications because we keep on testing out the application before we send it on desktop. Right? So check my notifications, and you would receive something that looks like this. So it's an invoice with the name of the farmer, their country, their phone number is there, and then the information that you had put about the details you had put when you were bidding. So you just
Yes.
tap it, and it goes to your dialer. If there are a few errors now like this, you can just change it, anything like that, and then you would call the person, call that farmer. Yes.
So currently, this is the message that I had received, and you had accepted it. So I had accepted it. So the message that hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes. So the message that you had clicked up on top is the one which had accepted, and that's the information that the buyer shall be able to see in terms of the contact.
But I have a meeting at 7:30.
Right. Thank you. Thank you, David. So that is how you'd get the farmer contact, as easy as that. And then we have a section called reports. So when you click reports, it would show you more details. Like, let me say, if you want to see how much you've spent, how your progress with using the application. So it shows this month total number of bids. How many bids have you done? You've done 4 bids. And then last month there were 4. In the last quarter there were 10. Why these details are there, as I said, I use this for testing. Yeah. But when you register and have yours, it would have 000 until you make your first bid. When you make your first bid, that's when the information will come in. Then total number of successful bids, it will show you how many were successful, those that the farmer has accepted. And then bid to success ratio, it shows you all that information. Yes. And then yeah, that is it here. Those are the main parts on the report. And that is it for the buyers section mainly. Those are the main parts for the buyer. If you have any questions, floor is open. Oh, and I also forgot to show here where it says choose language. I don't know if you can see it up here. It shows choose language. So the application works with different languages. So let me give an example of Luganda. Yes, it changes to Luganda. You can see here down, the text has changed. Even here, the text changes according to the language that you put in there. But for me right now, I prefer English. Yeah, all right. If you have any question, the floor is open either in the chat or you unmute. Thank you.
Yeah. Maria, can you show them the bid review screen, just so they can see when you make a bid, what's okay.
Oh, sorry. So the bid review screen is in the all produce. When you go to all produce, how we went to all produce, let me just repeat that. Sorry. From the map, you'd go to buy. Sell is for the farmer. So if you're a buyer, you go to buy and then view all. In view all, this is review bids, the bids that you have made. Okay, so these are the different bids that I had made before when I was just testing out. All right, so we see here there is coffee. This is the bid review screen. All right. Oh, for those that are accepted, it shows you bidding closed because I've already gotten the contact of the farmer. Yes, is it? So when you're done, it closes. If it's not yet done, it will still be open. Not like these others. The farmer didn't accept my bid, so it's just open. All right. Any other questions or inquiries?
In case anyone has questions, they can They can raise their hands or they can unmute and give us the reviews, or they can send us a message in our chat in the group chat. We shall be responding as soon as possible.
Can I ask now or later?
Yes, please. You
Yes,
can ask now.
Yes, actually, I had posted one of my questions on the chat, but let me ask the other one. Given that most farmers actually are not digital literate and even using just a simple phone, and those are the majority of the farmers, how is this really going to be very applicable? Because what I'm seeing on how did you call it? The list of the farmers, how did you call that?
Yes,
The
it's list of farmers.
Yes, the list of farmers. These are like our everyday farmers in the village, isn't it?
Yes, yes,
And
yeah.
Again, I'm looking at it. It's like somebody has got to be in the system checking if they are receiving any buyers for their products. Is that very practical?
Okay.
Given the nature of our farmers. Then my other related question is that what if I'm not a direct farmer, but I'm working as an agent for a product which I'm picking, for example, from Tuhaise Beatrice, who is a coffee farmer in Kayunga. But I pick her coffee, I do value addition, I do packaging, and I'm like a middle person agent. I'm going to look for suppliers elsewhere. Where does this cater for that kind of arrangement?
Answer for the first question, whereby you're wondering if really this application is applicable to the village farmers. So as the CEO was speaking before, he said there is a feature called the farmer agent. So we know that most farmers may not know how to use most farmers may not know how to use their smartphones. And then there are also those farmers who don't have smartphones at all, they have button phones. So would we have agents would find like out of 20 farmers, there's always that one farmer or that one person who knows how to use their phone. So they would register on the application as a farmer agent. And when they register, they can load farmers under his system. So you'd like, let me give an example. If I register on the system as a farmer agent, I would go to my friend John and tell him, oh, there's an application here that can help you sell your produce quite fast. So you register him, but then you'd put his phone number. So if a buyer makes a bid, that farmer would get an SMS on their button phone saying, buyer has made a bid for your produce. So this farmer would come and tell his friend who's a farmer agent that, oh, I've received an SMS. Let's check the application and see. Then you check the application, and then if you're interested, he accepts the bid. So for the farmers, we use SMS. They get notifications through SMS. That's for the farm when they're under farmer agent. So yeah, that's how we're helping those without smartphones, or even those with smartphones but may not know how to use it. So they'll register under farmer agent. Then for the second question, I'll pass it over to David or Mr. Steven.
Sorry.
I request that you repeat the second question.
Yes, please. I had a network issue.
All right.
Yeah, my second question was that if I'm like I don't want to call myself an agent, given what you have just described as a farmer agent, but I've picked. I know I have a relationship with this farmer called Tuhaise Beatrice of Kayunga, and I'm buying her coffee. I'm doing value addition, both on branding and packaging and the like, and I'm exporting. Where in this is this kind of arrangement?
Okay, so would you classify yourself as a kind of an aggregator? Because that's the kind of things that a lot of the aggregators do. They buy bulk, then they help to organize before they send it off to the commercial buyers for export, whatever. Um, Maybe the big buyers might be able to classify who you are because you're having value addition. So most of the aggregators would probably have a warehouse where they get all the different they buy all the different quantities from different farmers, then they put them into bags to make it easier for the commercial buyers, the large, could just come and pick them up with their trucks. So if you're in that category, then what Fromyfarm app does is enables you to, it doesn't do your task. What it does is allows you to source more supplies more regular rather than that one person. Now you can use the farmer agent who's acting as a means of bringing many other farmers who are not part of the internet to be able to, you just talk to this farmer agent or directly, has if you make your bid and then and you accept the bid, so they're actually bringing farmers to you, and then you can do your part of value addition and then sell it, then pass it on to the big commercial buyers. So it's actually so that's the main role of the app, is to enable you um, as a person who is actually doing value addition to source from new farmers very easily through this app rather than you having to go to the village to look for people. Does that make sense of what I'm saying? This, so sorry, Lucy.
Yes, please. Yes, it does. It does make sense now.
Yeah, yeah.
Though I might not be to the
Mm.
extent or to the level that you have described as an aggregator with a very big warehouse with a number of different products.
Yeah.
I may
But you
just be
can,
starting.
yeah. But you're totally free. The idea is not to, the idea is to enhance those who are going to help farmers, particularly those who are currently out of the system because they're in the village, they have no internet connection. By having the agent farmer who's knowledgeable about technology, you only have to deal with the agent farmer. And you say, look, this is what I need from these farmers. And then he goes out there, he talks to them and basically makes them accessible to you via you just sit in your home and you just get on the internet and you log into to Fromyfarm, and then all the produce that you want gets displayed for you. Then you make your pick. So you can pick and choose whichever ones you want to bid for. Well, then, so that's what we're doing. We're saving you a lot of trouble. We need to make sure that the app itself assists buyers, because the idea is that as more farmers get on board, they need to be able to sell. And so if we make it easy for the buyers to be able to source whatever value addition, whether it's a big one or you're a small operator, just value addition to maybe the local manufacturing, factory in Uganda or some town. It doesn't really matter. The idea is that you have regular source of farm produce that you need to keep your business going and to actually grow your business, because you're helping the farmer by actually giving them revenue. Okay.
Yes.
I have another question.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that is in relation with the taxes. We know that there's a new policy on agricultural tax. Where exactly is this handled? We know that currently farmers really don't want this tax because they have not yet really recognized its value for certain products.
Yeah. That's a good question. Now, the app itself, we're not a financial services. We don't have financial services license or anything to do with financial transactions. So the only charges and financial transaction that occurs with us is the fee we charge for the service. So, for example, contact details and annual registration. Those are the only fees we charge through the system, and all that is actually handled by a third party, which is we've got a banking gateway, and that banking gateway does that, takes the money on our behalf and then transfers it to us. But all other transactions that involves payments between you, the buyer, and the farmer, that's entirely outside of this app. So whatever arrangements you come with, that's entirely up to you. We don't handle any of those transactions. So that's an agreement between you and the farmer. Okay. We've limited that because it's a complex issue. If you know what the different VATs, for example, in Uganda is 18%, in Kenya's I think it's lower, in Tanzania it'll be different. So it'd be a very, very complex financial system we'd have to build, and that's not really the aim of the app. The app is just to bring people together, to allow them to then interact and then work out the actual arrangements that they want. As you know, as somebody who buys, it's not straightforward. You know, when you go and buy something from a farmer, there's a lot of things you got to consider: transportation, storage, a whole lot of things. And these all have their own particular tax, you know, charges that you know, every value addition stage has its own taxes. And it's not something that we will ever want to get involved in. It's too complicated. Okay. It's not really our aim anyway.
All right. We have a question from MK Forest Enterprise, Golu. How can this initiative help us to promote our product? For example, I do sell seedlings like coffee seedlings, cashew seedlings, pine seedlings, etc.
Yeah, that's a very important question, because a good example of that is there are, for example, companies that have the particular type of seeds that they want to sell, which are certified seeds. So you'd fall in the same category. So you'd be a supplier because you're actually supplying to farmers. You're supplying, you know, so as inputs. So you'd register as a supplier, and then the farmers. Then you advertise, and the farmers will say, "Okay, I want seedlings for coffee. I want seedlings for for cocoa or cashew or whatever." And they will go into that app, and they'll be able to see your advertising. It'll be under the supplier side, and that's very, very important. We want to encourage as many of these of the suppliers to register, because there are farmers who have indicated that they would love to get you know, all kinds of different inputs, particularly seedlings and also, you know, fertilizers, and also and some have obviously wanted education and agronomists to go and help them to improve their farming techniques. So yeah, so that'll be very, very valuable. Okay, thank you.
Are there any other questions that the chat group is open for any questions from other participants, just in case.
Hello.
Yes, Samuel. Yes, Samuel, you had a question you wanted to say?
Maybe I'll ask anyone who's a buyer, who's been a commercial buyer, whether there's anything that you think would be helpful to be included as a feature of the app. Because like with all software development, we rely on feedback from buyers or customers, and so we'd really appreciate if if you want to if you have any questions, if you can provide us some feedback. Lucy, you have your hands up. Yes, please ask a question, Lucy.
Mine is actually on the fees, the subscription fees. Is it it's a uniform fee of $3?
Yeah, it's at the moment it's 10,000 Ghana shillings, which is about nearly about $3, and we've kept it deliberately low because we want to encourage. We want buyers to, this is a new app, so most people are, you don't find an app like this anywhere. We know for sure. So there's always a feeling, oh well, is this good? Am I risking? So it's really, and this is an annual subscription. You're only paying just $3 for a whole year, and allows you to be able to go and make bids and be able to do transactions. So that's the idea, because we believe that over time, as thousands of farmers come in and more buyers get attracted, we will get our money. We'll eventually get the money. But the idea is to really kickstart the market. Yeah, so that's what it is at this stage. We're allowing this period. The actual long-term model is that buyers will be able to will obviously be charged a fee for contact, but at the moment, just to encourage buyers, we're allowing you to just pay the annual registration, and in order to encourage buyers to participate. And just also in relation to that, when you're paying that, those are the only sort of fees those are the only things that you use, you actually make payments on the app is actually our fees, and the farmers are paying for the contact details. And of course, the suppliers are obviously, they're the only ones who have to pay registration and advertising, because they'll be advertising so many different types of produce. And it is we believe that it's justifiable, but they're all still, it's really only the equivalent of $5,000, Uganda shillings, maybe $1.30 or something like that, to advertise for each category of produce, each category of product, so that allows them to be able to participate. And so that's just something just to encourage you. Yes, Lucy.
I appreciate that this is an online app kind of arrangement. Is there, I might have missed it, I'm sorry, but is there any physical office contact address?
Yes, we do have our address, as you can see, it's on the website as well. We're actually based in Kulambiro, which is Matayo close to Kulambiro in Kampala. That's where our head office is. And that's where you find Joseph, you find David and the rest of the team are based. And yeah, so definitely phone numbers there, and you can find. We're officially registered with the Ugandan government registration, so we've got all those information. If you wanted to actually visit the office, you're very welcome to visit them. Yep, definitely. Anyone else? So we want to encourage, the reason why we're holding this session is because there are many farmers who are registering on a daily basis, and we want them to, we want you, the buyers, to support them. And also we want to strongly encourage the registration of farmer agents. We believe that's it's a very profitable model. And we already, there's some companies who are keen to actually train their own. So there'll be company registered farmer agents, and there'll be probably in the future maybe government registered ones as well. But for the private sector, if you're a person who can see yourself as providing this service to farmers, and you've got this app which is just waiting for you, you'll be able to advertise free on the app, because that's a service that is You are just you're the middleman in terms of the person, the coordinating person who will be helping the farmers. Rather than you buying the produce, you're simply acting as a sales agent for the farmer. So you can go out there, talk to them, and then you can coordinate. This would also work for those who are, for example, who have farmers groups, farmers association. They could act as agents, as farmer agents, because they've got registered quite a few farmers. So they would be very good candidates to do that. And there's no process. You just register. If you're currently a farmer, you can just register and become a farmer agent. Or if you haven't registered, then you can just go through a process, and then you become active, and you can support the farmers in your community. Yes, Jesse, you have your hands up.
Yeah, thank you very much. Team, I joined quite late.
That's all right.
So I've not got nitty-gritty, but anything which helps bridge markets or connect the buyers to smallholder farmers and farm agents, I'm interested. I have a company. It is called Anoa Agricultural and Technology Consult. It was formed during the time of COVID.
Okay.
We do agricultural supplies, we do professional advisory services, and consultancy.
Yeah.
So now that US is a technology platform and it is bridging farmers, I missed a big part of the presentation because I joined late. I will be interested that we see areas for collaboration and networking.
Yeah.
I think I will be able to follow up. Your contacts, I think, are here.
Yes.
Or I will visit the website.
Yeah. What you can do, what you can do is actually put on the chat just your contact information, and David and the team, they can have a chat, talk to you afterwards to help. Because we are discussing with other people too who have expressed interest, other companies and individuals like yourself, to come to agreement where we can support you with, we can have phone support and even help. We have an option, if this is also good for others, that if you've got a network, like you've got a network of farmers that you're managing, and you want to have better information about them. So when the farmers register under your company, we can design a website which allows you to look in the data of how the farmers are working. For example, if they are selling, what produce they're selling, and there's other information that we can provide to help you support the farmers. We can. So there's a lot that we can actually do, because the idea is, as I said, our commitment is to help those farmers, particularly those who are completely disconnected from the internet. We must bring them in. They're like 75% of the farmers, and we really want them to come. And this app is, and our effort is to try to do that. So what you're doing will be incredibly helpful, and we'll be very happy to support you. So if you said just drop your contact details to either through WhatsApp or just through on this chat, and David and the team will follow up with you. Yes, you Jesse.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, that was a good question actually, and because I think there's quite a few people, particularly in those who currently manage quite a lot of farmers in farmers groups, that we need to support them, and this app makes it really, really good. We're actually enhancing by bringing integrated digital technology, which allows them to monitor the farmer even if they are offsite. And also the other thing about the app is that it also works when you're offline. So you'll find that there's a button that if you I don't know whether Maria, can you share your screen so that
yes, I can.
Yeah, please share that screen. I think that's an important one, because what the app does is, we know in reality many people don't want to, all the other apps that are available, you have to be online in order to use them. Anytime you want to use them, you've got to be online. So whereas what we've done is we've actually developed so that the information that's available in the cloud services you can actually download that. So you can see in the top right-hand corner there, it says download for offline use. So what you do is while you're online, if you're going to go into a village somewhere or want to be offline, you just click on that button. Then it will download the latest data. And then once it's completed, just give a little bit of time. It's sometimes, depending on your network, it might be a bit slow, but give it a bit of time. Then you should be able to just you can go offline, and then you'll still be able to use all the functionality of the app. You'll be able to see the produce, you see all the maps, everything else works. The only time you need to come online is if you want to do a transaction. What it does is that if you get an SMS, if you're a farmer, for example, and you get an SMS that, oh, a buyer's made a bid, then you'll be able to log in. That's when you need to go online, because all transactions can only be done when you're actually online. But for viewing, viewing the app and looking at the various produce, what's available, and all kind of stuff, you don't need to be online. That's a very, very important one, because it means you only go online when you have to. The same, and this applies for whether you're a farmer, you're a buyer, you're a supplier. You can actually be online most of the time, unless you're actually doing a transaction. Or you want to know what's the latest. The only thing you won't get is if new farmers have added produce, or if buyers are, if buyers are making bids. You only when a bid is sent to you that you know that something's happening. But that's a very important part, and I think it would help a lot of people like yourself who don't want to spend all your internet data just having to check. Particularly if you've got 20, 30 farmers, it can consume a lot if you have to be online all the time. But if you don't have to, you can just check while you're offline, sit there, wherever you are, offline, and just check and see how everything's going, and then you just do a quick update if you want to. Okay, so that's a very, very valuable part of the technology to help make it practical for the reality of how difficult, how expensive it is to be online all the time. Yes, you, Jason.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other question? Okay. I think Maria, you can wind up, because people, it's now past the time, and we just.
Oh.
Okay.
All right. I'm seeing there's one more question here.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. If there is, let's go on.
Kanye's Dairy Farm produces of goat milk. Also use the milk to manufacture cosmetics. Also produce organic fertilizer. How do we benefit from this platform?
Bluetooth mode.
Hello? Everybody hear me?
Yeah. Yes. I'm just trying to understand this also. So the person, they produce dairy farm from goat milk. They also use the milk to produce. Okay. How do we benefit from this platform? I think that the way one can look at how this app works is, if you're a producer, okay, of products, because you basically you're value adding the products from dairy farm. Now, if you want to grow your business, you need to have you need to be able to source increased supplies beyond just the farm that you currently have. And so if your focus is on manufacturing cosmetics and other produce, so what the app does is you can come in there and say, look, okay, I want to source. I would like to, you can look for farmers who are selling, maybe the suppliers of milk. They're selling milk, so there'll be advertising. Okay, not necessarily cows, but they may be selling milk. And if you and therefore you'll be able to then make arrangement with those farmers after that to be able to supply you regular supplies of milk. Or if you want any other inputs that you can get from a farming community that you require for your manufacturing process, then you'll be able to source that through the app. So the idea is it allows you to actually network and to discover where these people are. And one of the most powerful part of it is that they could actually be very close to you. At the moment, you may not even know that there's 10 Ks away, or maybe 5 kilometers away, there's somebody who's got cattle, that can produce the milk quantities that you want, because you've had no dealings with them. And now you discover from the app that, they're just only a short distance away. And now you'll be able to get in touch with them. And that's the value of the app, saving you the time trying to source the inputs for your manufacturing process. And that from our point of view would mean that the app has achieved its goal of bringing in these farmers who are not part of the internet network. Now they're able to be visible to you because you're able to communicate with them. And what we're also planning, and part of our future release, is that we want to have a dashboard, a dashboard for buyers, where you can indicate, what you would like to buy in the future, and then that will be made available to farmers, because farmers often at the moment are just producing, but we hope that in the future they will be able to know what buyers really want, in maybe 6 months' time. If there's sufficient volumes, then instead of them producing, maybe matoka, producing maybe beans, if people are going to say, okay, there's enough demand, say, for maize in 6 months' time, then farmers might switch. And they know that there's going to be buyers. Not to worry about saying, if I produce and everybody else produces, it's going to be a surplus, there'll be no buyers. Because they will know that they can sell, because the buyers have indicated that they want this produce for a long period of time. So it helps farmers to actually readjust from their current traditional, subsistence to one where they can actually make money. Because most of them at the moment are just listening to what people are saying in the market, and say, people are now wanting, more of this produce. So everybody rushes to do it, and then they overproduce, and they have no guarantee. So this data that we're providing through the buyer, indication, will help farmers in the long term. That's part of our vision for how we want to provide more data for farmers to help them adjust, and that also will help the buyers, again, to be able to work with the farmers to produce what the actual retailers want, whether it be domestic or whether international. So there'll be the app will bring the two together so they can work together to be more productive. We want to move away from farmers just producing anything to make some money, to one where they actually become a real business. So although you may have 5 acres or 10 acres, if you're selling the right kind of produce, you could still make a fortune. But you need to know what that right produce is. And by bringing these two parties together, buyers providing input to what they want, and through this app, I think over time we believe that over 2 or 3 years' time, you find a lot of farmers becoming very, very profitable, and being assured of being able to sell all their produce, because they're now producing what buyers want, and buyers will also be paying them the price that they believe the farmers, basically the farmers will get the price that they believe will make them profitable and keep them profitable. Okay, so that I think is a very, very important part of how the app will help everybody in the long term. So it's a major revolutionary technology that will radically change the way farmers actually produce, because there's that close interaction, and with 70% plus of farmers being smallholders, you think of it, if they get engaged and really begin to start producing in large quantities, most of them are hardly produced using their actual plots, because they can't guarantee they'll sell everything. Now with this app, knowing that there are buyers who are actively making bids, they will be able to increase their production, knowing that they'll be able to get rid of all their produce. Doesn't matter if they use the entire plot, they know that they're going to get buyers. That's a very important thing for the farmers. And so the agents will be an important part, but also the app will help to bring everybody to a common understanding and just transparency, so that everybody sees the price. The buyer sees the price, the farmer sees the price, And when they negotiate, even within the app, it's visible to everybody. So there's honesty, brings in honesty, which is what you want to get people to actually invest, both the buyer and the farmer as well. Okay.
Yes, we have a question from Yefusa, but before that, the response from Juliet, I think she wanted to clarify is, can she advertise her produce, the list that she had indicated, cosmetics, organic fertilizers, and goat's milk on the application to get market? I think she was trying to do that.
Oh yes, absolutely. Through the supplier. That's because organic, those organic milk, you can that would be, sorry?
It's organic fertilizers. So that is
those would be suppliers. Anything that's an input to farming community, definitely. Yeah. Very welcome to. Very welcome to.
Then we have Yefusa saying, I'm a director of Orphan, a village, Africa. We have a farm for both goats and chicken. How can we get buyers?
Yeah. So again, you just advertise. It's free advertising. Farming, all the farming, all the farmers can advertise free. We've allowed that in the app because we want them to be able to be exposed to the global market, and of course, the buyers will be able to see them. And so they can do that anytime. Just download the app and just upload the images or a short video, 30-second video, and then the buyers will be able to see them from the app. So that's why we're talking to buyers to encourage them to help to see. Okay.
Okay. Because of time, we just forward the contact number of which you can get in touch with us. And have Maria end the session where the word is clear.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone, for being there, being patient until this time. I'll be closing this meeting. For more inquiries, please, we've sent a link on the chat, or on the website. You can find our phone number and all the information that you would need. Thank you very much. Let's just have a short word of prayer and then end the meeting. Father, King of Glory, thank you for today. Thank you for this meeting. Thank you for the work that is being done here, Father, King of Glory. Most of the things that we do are not coincidences, but Lord, you plan them and they come to pass, Father. I pray that this application helps very many people out there, King of Glory, and may it be done up to the glory of your name, and honesty and purity, Father, King of Glory. I pray this in the mighty name of Jesus Christ, our Lord. Amen. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Have a wonderful night, everyone.
Okay. Bye for now. Bye.
Bye.